If you found this video, you must be as excited as I am that Canada has announced 13 additional countries that they have now accepted into their visa-free travel program. And like me, I am from Trinidad and Tobago, so I fall into that category of passport holders who can now travel to Canada visa-free. So if you're trying to understand the requirements a bit better, or you want to find out how to apply for the e-visa, then this video is just for you. Before we begin, I just have one small favor to ask. If you do find the video to be informative, don't forget to hit the like button. But for now, let's get into the video. But I'm so excited. Hi, welcome to the Trini Will Travel. I'm Keisha. On this channel, you will find travel and travel related content, especially from a Caribbean perspective. So if you are a West Indian, you are from the West Indies, and you are interested in travel, join the community. Let's share our experiences, tips, tricks, course. It's about sharing and building a community of persons who are excited about travel, especially from the Caribbean perspective, because travel is not always as easy for us as it is for other persons of the world. So let's share our experiences so that we can all experience the magic that is travel. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe. But for now, let's get into the main reason why we're here today. This visa-free travel to Canada. So the first thing, Canada has announced 13 new countries that can travel visa-free to Canada. Those countries are listed here. So previously, travelers from these countries would have had to apply for a tourist visa or a transit visa if they were going to Canada. Now that is no longer required, and Trinidad and Tobago is one of them. Yes. But with all the excitement, we also need to remember that there are some requirements. Not all passport holders from these countries will be able to benefit from the visa-free travel just yet. The persons who are immediately able to take advantage of this are persons who, one, previously held a Canadian visa within the last 10 years, or persons who currently hold a valid US visa, because US residents don't need to have a visa to travel in and out of Canada. So I guess it applies to persons who also hold a US, and let me just say a US non-immigrant visa. So again, a US tourist visa, which I think is the B1 visa. So that is persons who had a Canadian visa within the last 10 years, or persons who currently have a US visa can travel to Canada visa-free. Yay! Now, while you may be visa exempt, that does not mean that we can just hop on a flight and go to Canada. There is still one thing that we need to apply for, which is the electronic travel authorization, or in some instances, it's called an e-visa. It's an online application. It costs $7 Canadian, and you can find out within 24 to 72 hours if you got through. So it's pretty easy, pretty simple. I wish I knew this before I bought tickets that cost €500 extra to not pass through Canada, because I didn't want to apply for a transit visa. And then 3 days later, they announced this. We could have saved some money. But anyway, now we can talk about how to apply for the ETA. But before that, one thing to note, in what instances would you need an ETA? So the ETA is required for air travel. So if you're entering Canada by airplane, then you need to apply for the ETA. However, if you're entering Canada by car, boat, bus, ferry, cruise ship, whatever it is, you do not need to apply for the ETA. So let's say you're in New York and you want to go across to Canada by car or however it is, you do not need to apply for the ETA. However, if you're flying into Canada, then you would need to apply for the ETA. I'll have the link below to where to apply for the ETA. And one thing I would say is always use the official website, because the scammers these days are getting pretty smart. So a lot of times I'm very skeptical to click on sponsored posts, because scammers will pay for the sponsored posts because it's the first thing that comes up. You click on it, it looks legit. You pay money for something that you do not need to pay money for, or more money that you do not need to pay money for. So let's get into the legit things so that you would know if it's legit or not, but I would always say use the official government website, which I have linked below. So if you meet the requirements, being you are from a visa exempt country, you had a Canadian visa within the last 10 years, or you currently hold a valid US visa, then you can apply for the ETA. So what do you need to apply for the ETA? For one, it costs there's an application fee of $7 Canadian. So that is all the money that you should be paying. If any website tells you that you need to pay $24 Canadian, $50 Canadian, $100 Canadian for the application processing fee, like, it's not legit. The fee is a flat fee of $7 Canadian. Of course, you'll need your passport, your valid passport from a visa exempt country. You'll also need a valid email address because you'll need to get the information that they have to send to you. And you'll also need a form of payment, a valid form or accepted form of payment. The accepted forms of payments are credit cards from Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, prepaid credit cards from Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, or the Visa debit card or the Master debit card. Basically, credit card, prepaid credit card, or debit card from Visa or MasterCard. And yeah, that's all you need, and well, an internet connection. And some notes that they had on your website is that it's an online application. So previously, if you would have applied for a Canadian visa, you know that you need to download the form and fill out the form, etc. This is a completely online process, so you would not be able to download the form or anything. Once you go online, you fill out the information online. So it's suggested that you have your information ready to fill out immediately. The main information they need from your passport is the passport number and your country code. Once you fill out the form, then you would be required to make the payment of the $7 Canadian. They say within a few hours or within a day, they will email you to tell you if you were successful or not, if you were admitted the e-visa or not. And in some instances, they may email you asking to provide additional documents. So look out for your email to see if you'll be required to send additional documents before they approve it. Now, another note that they made is to be sure to fill out the correct information, be sure to have your passport number correct, double check to see that you have the correct country code. For us, the country code will be on your passport. You'll have the information there, but you'll have to select it from a drop-down list. So make sure that you select the correct country code from the drop-down list, because they say that if you make an error, you will not know until you arrive at the airport and it will be declined, and then you'll have to apply on spot and all the drams. Like, you don't want to go through that. Like, when you fill out the form, just make sure everything is correct. And it's basically supposedly simple as that to apply for the ETA. Once you have been granted the e-visa, it's valid for 5 years. So you can travel in and out of Canada for 5 years or until your passport expires. And once your passport expires, you can apply for a new one. Again, you'll have to pay the $7 fee for the application. But yeah, so either 5 years, or when your passport expires, when you get a new passport, you apply for the e-visa again, because the e-visa is linked to your passport. So once your passport expires, it's no longer applicable and you have to apply for a new one for your new passport. So that's it, simple as that. Free travel to Canada, visa free travel to Canada for Trinidad and Tobago nationals, as well as the other 13 countries that have just been announced. Actually, there's a total of 50 countries, but for these 13 countries, it's a new thing. Like, we're new to this, okay? We're new to this, okay? We need the information, okay? But that is basically it. So now you know the requirements to travel visa free into Canada, and you also know how to apply for the ETA, which is a requirement as a visa exempt passport holder. As a visa exempt passport holder, you know the process and how to apply and how simple it is. So if you did find this video helpful, please hit the like button. If you're interested in seeing more content from me, then go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. More than likely, the next video I'll be posting are my top travel planning apps. And when I say travel planning, I mean the apps I use to plan the vacation. Like, if I'm thinking about doing a vacation, if I'm thinking to see what I want to do, like these are the apps that I use. This is not while on vacation, this is for the planning stage. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe so that you can see when I do post that video. But safe travels until next time. Bye.